fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Evening, everyone. Evening. Welcome. Oregon Gooner, as always, legend in my eyes. And Prince Fab, good to see you, my friend. And
likewise.
Well, how you, Oregon Gooner? How you doing, man?
I'm gassed still, Jazz. I couldn't sleep last night. I'm excited. I think we're going to pull this out. I do. I'm pretty confident. If we can just keep up the fight, I think we're good. But other than that, family's good. I'm good. Another Thursday. Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, man. Prince Fab, you must be really gassing it after last night. Great win, wasn't it? It was a great win.
I done 3 back somersaults yesterday night. Put it that way. No, yeah, of course it was good. It's good. Like, it's really good for the Arsenal fan base, and it's good to see when we're back. That's what we're back where we belong, man. We belong there. We've been waiting for a while, you know, and like I can see us as crossing the line now.
I totally agree. And it's quite interesting. We were chatting before we went live, weren't we, Oregon Gooner, that if this guy, Mr. Arteta, proves us wrong, I'll be the first person to stand up and say, you proved me wrong, and thank you for doing it. And that's all we can ask. And so we're going to get into the chat. A very quick question from Craig AFC 87, man. Good to see you, my friend. Jez, would 92 points clinch us the Premier League title? Of course it would. Yeah, I think it would do it. Oregon Gooner, do you, your opinion on that? I think it must.
Yes, Craig's a lot better at math than I am, but yeah, I think so. I mean, it's hard telling, but I don't see why we couldn't push for that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, Prince Fab, do you think the 92 points will clinch us the Premier League title?
No, I think I'm going lesser. I think I'm going lesser because the pressure the pressure's not on us to get 92 points. Do you know what I mean? We just got to win. We got to win. The pressure's on man. We got to just concentrate on game by game, and I think we can win if we get 86 points. We will become champions. 86 points we only need to become champions.
The only problem I think is that Man City are going to push us all the way. That's my concern. We've got to go up there and play them. A draw there is good, but I want the win. But we know we haven't done great at the Etihad for ages.
We're due a win there.
We are. Oh, yeah, we are.
We're due a win there. We are due a win there, and I think it's going to come at the right time.
I'm going to go with you on that one. I really am.
I think we're due a win there, and it's going to come at a time when everyone's on it. It's like, it's weird how football is. All of us were confident about Man City coming to the Emirates, and we all thought, you know what, we can do them now. And if we go there thinking, you know what, we all struggle there, it's going to be one of them games. I think we could turn them over there.
Well, it's really up to mentality, isn't it? I mean, if we
100%.
play like we did when they came to our house, we're not going to win. You know, it's all the mentality. I mean, if Tomiyasu doesn't make that mistake, we're talking a different football game, right? That mistake, we got our heads down, which we haven't really done much this season. You know, we go a goal down, we galvanize ourselves, and we would come back. Aston Villa is a prime example. If we don't make any mistakes and play the perfect football, we can beat them, or of course we'll draw them. But I think Fuad's right. I don't see us really losing to them unless we make big mistakes like the Tommy mistake.
Oh yeah, I think Man City are there for the taking this time. Arsenal Manic says, since Eddie is out of the room, Arsenal been scoring goals and winning matches. Is that a coincidence? I think not. LOL. Prince Fowler, do you want to answer that? I mean, I know you're a fan of Eddie.
Arsenal Manic, you got to understand as a footballer, Eddie done what he had to do. Jamie, this is why we bring in Trossard. Eddie done what he did. The reason why we are what we are, because Eddie played his part in his title race. When Christmas time, we went away to Brighton, he got the goal there. We had the tough West Ham fight, he got a goal there. We had a massive epic with Man United, he got the winner there. So he's done what he had to do. So by then bringing now Trossard's a much better player than Eddie Nketiah. But Eddie's done his job. Now Trossard is stepping up to that level. Eddie, fair dues to him, as Arsenal fans, we have to give him due that he actually did his part when we needed him. We all knew Eddie's not going to go from now to the end of the season scoring. But I think though, Jez, from now to the end of the season, I think Eddie's still going to score more goals for Arsenal. I think he's 2 more goals.
Okay. Yeah. Not sure. Oregon Gooner. Eddie Nketiah. Benched.
He's not playing, Fuad, because we don't trust him. He's got 1 assist in 7 games. It's just not good enough. You and I have talked about this. The 3 of us have talked about this previously. I'm an Eddie person fan because I think he's a great lad. I mean, again, nothing personal, but he's really just not good enough. And I think Arteta realized that he had to mix it up because it wasn't working.
100%.
And I don't really necessarily. I don't know if I want him out of the club. I still think, like you, there's some potential there. And he did his job, but he didn't do it good enough. And I think that's why he's benched. If he would have continued on from the United game, I think we would, we'd be in a different spot. We'd still be in first, but he would, we'd praise him more.
No, but I'll say no. I've seen no is when Trossard come in, see, there was I was like saying Eddie done what he had to do because when Trossard come in, I knew like Arteta had to try something else.
Right.
And like now he's got now's the right time when he actually got a plan B. His plan B is Trossard there, Trossard drops to the left, Martinelli slips in the middle, and into the play, don't he? So that's a plan B. So by Eddie being there, he can't have a plan B because if I think if Arteta would have not had a plan B, he would have stuck to plan A. But Eddie would have kept playing. But I think Mikel Arteta realised that, listen, I need to change it now. And Trossard was there thinking, because Trossard's a better player than Eddie Nketiah. Sure. He's technically both-feeted. He can finish. Right. I'm not saying but I'm thinking Eddie will score. I'm not saying Eddie's going to start now from now to the end of the season because Jesus is back in training. But I think Eddie will score goals for Arsenal. And they're going to come in the cup games. I think even in Europa League, he'll score goals.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I don't have a huge issue of him starting some of those games. It depends, of course, who we draw. If we're going up against Barcelona, I don't want him playing. I don't even want him near the ball. I just don't I don't see what he can do. There's no real product at the end, though. I mean, I think the United goal was great, but at the same time, he was in the right place at the right time. Trossard could have done the same thing. I think the debate's still out on Eddie, but like TJ's even saying there, he's missing sitters. And when you go to missing sitters, wide open goals, which we've all seen, then there's something wrong, right? There's just not, something's not clicking. His timing's off, his technique is wrong. It could be a few other things, but I just know that we look like a complete different team with Trossard in there than we do with
100%. I'm not going to argue. Look, Jez knows, I've defended Eddie.
Sure.
But, and I'll be honest, I'll come on live, I'm an honest person. Right now, Eddie can sit on the bench.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Let's answer Pete's question here. My favorite, this guy loves me to death, you know that. And Oregon Gooner, Pete says, we have already won the league effectively. 13 games to go. Man City are done. I would never write off Man City. And we will win the Europa League as well. Are you seeing that, Oregon Gooner?
Yeah, Peter, just stop. Man City are going to run it to the end. It's always a two-horse race. If you watch football long enough, there's always two teams that are close in points at the top. They're not done. We have to face Liverpool, Chelsea. Not to say that they're anything good, but they're decent. And the Europa League, come on. It depends who we're drawn against. If we get top level teams, it's too early to predict. It's too early to predict. I mean, there's so much more games to play. Europa League, we still aren't even in the knockout stages yet, I believe. We're still in the group stage. We've already lost to PSV. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money more on the league. But to say Man City are done is false.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Darren, welcome, mate. Good to see you.
Good evening, all. Nice to be on.
Old school gunner we got here tonight.
That is my best friend.
Darren, I'm
we like a bit of banter, don't we, Prince?
Oh, I like bantering with Darren.
Yeah, a bit of banter.
Darren, Pete says we have already won the league effectively. Man City are done. We will win the Europa League as well. Give me your view on that, my friend.
Well, Class A drugs are not always the best option, really. But yeah, I mean, no, we haven't won the league effectively. There's plenty of time for us to lose games. But having seen that last night, I've got to say I'm more positive now after watching that last night and seeing how good we are, that front three we've got now. I think that front three will worry Man City more than the front three we had when we played them in the FA Cup and the league game at the Emirates, without mentioning any names. Trossard, Martinelli and Saka are they're going to be difficult to handle. And I think Trossard has been a sort of like a Mane signing for us. He's out there on the left and he's really penetrating big time, getting in, and he's got something. He can do something that the opposition won't know what it is, what he's going to do next. And if we can keep that in, I think we've got every chance now winning the league. But we haven't won it effectively, Peter Hayward. But I like your enthusiasm, mate.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, I love the positivity. I'm positive. Oregon Gooner, Prince Feld. Welcome, Connor. First time on my show.
Yes, thank you.
Top fella. Everybody, this young man does the amazing. He set up all the graphics, my show. If anybody else needs any graphic work done, get hold of CMO. You'll find him on Instagram, and it will get a big massive shout out at the end of the channel because he set up my opening shot of the Arsenal with all the James come and sit down next to me stuff. My graphic here, which my little coasters that my wife's making, and that stuff. So top fella.
Cheers. Thanks, Jez.
And what do you think? Pete says we have already won the league effectively. Man City are done. We will win the Europa League as well. Give us your view on that, my friend.
I'd say don't count your chickens too early. It's still only February. I mean, it was just into March. Sorry. We've still got to go to Anfield. We've still got to go to the Etihad. So there's very important games coming up. We've still got to play Chelsea at home. We got some games coming up. I know Chelsea hasn't been one of the most strongest sides recently, but there's some big games coming up, and definitely that game at the Etihad is going to be a big definer for how we're going to do it till the end of the season. And with the Europa League as well, there's still some massive teams in it. You look at Manchester United now, just winning the Carabao Cup. They're a really tough opponent coming into it, and I wouldn't be surprised if Man United don't start chasing for this Premier League title as well. So don't write them out either. I would say if we can get on a good run of games, still keep going on these wins, keep getting these points. I'm definitely going to get more and more confident by each game. But it's that game at City that is going to redefine for me whether we finish this title or not. But it's not bad to be confident at the end of the day, is it? You know, this is our best run in how long? Probably since when Leicester won the league, even though they finished miles ahead of us pretty much. But it's good to be confident, but don't be overly. We definitely haven't done it yet. That's for sure. And we definitely haven't won the Europa League as well either. That's my opinion.
Prince Found. Before coming to you, Prince Found, Matt Southern Gooner, welcome, my friend.
Everybody, how y'all doing?
Good to
Hi,
see
guys.
you.
Draglagging.
Good, good.
Prince Found, you have a different outlook on things. That's the nice thing. That's why we.
Look, effectively, when he said we won the league, I can't agree with that. But listen, I can relate to some of the things he's saying. All right, what I can relate to is with the league. I think Manchester City has got one eye on the Champions League. I think that's why when they played Nottingham Forest, I think they were more worried about that game than the Premier League game, and that's why they dropped out. And I think on Saturday against Newcastle, I can see Guardiola got one eye, two eyes on the Champions League, and he's going to do something crazy in that game. And I think Newcastle gets something out of it. If you look at it from Man City's ambition, they got to go for the Champions League. Then I can relate what he's saying, but effectively, I don't think we've won the league yet. Like the man said, yeah, I think like Dana said, he's been on the shisha for too long, bruh. Peter, you need to chill out, bruh.
Stay off the Class A drugs, mate.
Matt.
But I can relate to you a little bit, though, bro.
Matt, I'll come to you. Welcome on, mate. Great to see you again.
Likewise.
Great fan cam last night, by the way. And Pete, we've already won the league effectively.
No. We've got a long way to go. We've got a few hurdles we got to get over before we even think about winning the league. I will say this: if we win the next 6 to 7 games, I'd say we pretty much got a shoot in for that. I agree with everything Prince said, 100%, because I think with City, they're going to find themselves in a conundrum with which do they want, what path do they want to go down, and you have that kind of luxury when you've won the title as much as they have over the last few years. They've never won a Champions League, so they're going to be in the back of their minds like, you know what, this is something that this is something we need to do. Pep has been wanting to do it for a while, and so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think right now, we need to go on a game by game basis. 3 points here, 3 points here. We definitely need to win the City game. We definitely need to win that game. I know it's going to be tough considering we hadn't won there in God knows how long since Arteta was playing. If I'm correct. So I mean, it's just a case of how consistent can we be going down the stretch? Can we put in performances like we did yesterday for the remainder of this season? And if we can do that, then I think we could. As far as Peter saying win Europa League, I mean, you got Manchester United sitting in there. Yeah. I mean, the European competitions are very tricky, and we don't have an extremely really good record in Europe. Sad as that may be, historically as we are, we don't have a really strong record in Europe. Yeah. So I don't bank a lot on the Europa League. Let's just be honest. A lot of people was banking on that because they wanted to get in the top 4. Because a lot of people had no expectation that we would even be where we are now. But being as where we are now, I'm all for competing on all fronts. But as I said last night in my fan cam, it's been a long time since I've seen a EPL trophy lifted at this club, and I definitely want to see it done. So I think that we're in a good spot as far as the guaranteeing a win. No, but I think that if we can be consistent the next 6 to 7 games and put points on the board and not drop points, I think we'd be in a good spot.
I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Can't deny it. So let's talk about last night. Arsenal was a great win, 4-0. We needed that. We needed that game in hand to get those 3 points was a massive importance to Arsenal last night. And I thought it was a great win. And the fact of the matter is, I'm going to Connor, I'm going to ask you first, mate, as the first time you've come on the channel. Everton started hard and fast, which I was very surprised about. I didn't expect them to start like that because I thought they would be like they were at Goodison. They're going to sit back and they're going to sucker us in. They would go out and try and crush us on the wings, which they did at Goodison Park. But they came out straight, fast, and tried to actually do us early on. And I think that was their mistake, personally. Connor, what do you think of that, mate? I mean, what's your opinion?
Yeah, no, I think you've got to give it to Everton. They didn't come to just sit back and, well, at the beginning anyway, they didn't come to just sit back and just sort of let us play through them. They were very, very, I have to admit to them, fair play to Everton, they were very tough to break down those first 30 minutes. We couldn't even get a sight in past them. But eventually, we obviously did get past them. But no, they done well. I think the problem with Everton was they're missing Calvert-Lewin massively. They're missing a goal scorer massively. I think Maupay has only scored 1-2 goals this season so far. And Ellis Sims on the bench, he's not really got much to offer. So yeah, I think the fact of the matter is it could have maybe been a different start to them if they had Calvert-Lewin in their team or just an out-and-out goal scorer. But yeah, I think we were putting too much pressure on them in the end. Their defense was going to break eventually, and obviously it did. But you got to give it to them. They did hold on for 30 minutes. I think there were times where you saw Jordan Pickford probably taking about 10 minutes to take each goal kick, but we moved past that and obviously doing that on purpose or being told to do that. But listen, it's a bit sad to see Everton like this, honestly, because if you think of Everton, you don't really think of them as a championship side. That could be where they're heading at the end of the season, especially with all these Calvert-Lewin injuries. I just don't see where their goals are going to come from in these upcoming games. I would say, unless it's from centre-backs, from set pieces, I really could not tell you who's going to score those goals. So, yeah, it's a bit sad. You'd think of Everton as pretty much a Premier League side. They've consistently been in the Premier League for the last however long. But listen, last night, I think we showed them what we should have played like. When we first went to Goodison Park, but obviously, manager bounce, they probably had something going for them, but we really showed them up. And I think we actually showed our ability of what we can do last night. I know people can say it's only Everton, can we do that against other sides, which we have showed this season, but we definitely really let things loose and we really went for it last night. I was really, really pleased with the performance and hopefully, and I think we can even do better against Bournemouth because I think they're an even worse side than Everton at the moment. So, let's see what happens. But I was very pleased with the performance last night.
Yeah, I mean, I was. Darren, I think I think that I was actually totally surprised, mate, how Everton started that game. What's your view on that situation?
Yeah, I mean, they had a go. They had a couple of threats on our goal. And fair play to them because let's be honest. They got nothing to lose. They weren't expected to get anything from us. And over the years, they'd never get anything to us at our ground, especially. So it was probably a good bit of management by Dyche to say, look, chaps, we're on hiding to nothing here. Let's give it a go for the first half, see how we get on. And for 40 minutes, let's be honest, they were in the game.
Yeah, they were.
It was only that last sort of 5 minutes of the first half where we got the breakthrough, where Saka scored that brilliant goal. I mean, the way he shifted his body from left to right, and then it was a bit like Santi Cazorla, how he used to sort of move. His movement was brilliant. And to hit that shot as high as he did up in the net, no goalkeeper was getting that. And then the goal was brilliant. The second goal, everybody thought, it's going to be disallowed. It's going to. I had one of these feelings. I thought all these VARs we've been getting that ain't been going for us. We need a VAR which is 50-50, which I think that was going for us for a change. And fortunately, it went for us yesterday, which was great. But, have Everton got anyone who's big up top now, other than Calvert-Lewin, who weren't playing, to be playing this game of put 10 men behind the ball and try and frustrate? They probably didn't have anyone to do that. And that's probably why Dyche said, look, let's just have a go, because Iwobi, he's all dribbling and no end product. Maupay is dangerous if he gets the ball in the penalty area, but outside the penalty area, he's not going to hold the ball up and do nothing for you. So fortunately, it all panned out and worked out really nicely for us.
Yeah, totally agree, mate. Oregon Gooner. How did you see it? I thought, hard, fast start from Everton. I wasn't expecting it, mate. Quite surprised me at fair. Pegged us back for a while. Were you expecting that? How did you see it?
No, I figured they would at least come out a little bit because I think they wanted to try to prove a point that they aren't just a low block defensive team. So maybe Dyche and his, tactical thought process was like, well, maybe if I come out and just try and blitz them and get the ball up the pitch, we can get something. But I think what happened was, like Darren said, around the 40th minute, they sort of just ran out of gas, to be honest. I don't think they're very athletic and they're not very fast players. And, that soccer goal was absolutely brilliant. Zinchenko just ripped them apart in our final third. I mean, he was making diagonal passes that were just, out of this world. And they had no recourse for that. At times, we saw Nana at right back. I mean, it was just so all over the place. And like I said, I just think they physically ran out of steam in the second half for sure. But yeah, they are not a good side, and it's going to be doubtful if Dyche can even save them. I'm really curious what their schedule is going to look like in April because they are really bad. It's just a real hodgepodge of players thrown together. And like Darren said, without Calvert-Lewin, there's no target man. Mappa is shit. It's just, it's really bad because I have a little bit of respect for Everton, always being in Liverpool's shadow. So, it's kind of unfortunate, but they're just not good enough.
No. Prince Fuad, we got the result, mate, didn't we? But it was a bit of a shaky start from Arsenal. Everton came on us. Wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't. How did you think that was how the start was going to be?
If I was a player and I was on that pitch and I see Everton, they normally park the bus. They build a shed between the goals, and after they build a bus, then they build a wall, then they build the Donald Trump wall. That's Everton. But when they come at us, I was shocked. I was like, what's going on here? I couldn't believe it. When you see their midfielders bombing forward and you see their attackers on the line, the defense on the line, you're thinking, even Arsenal was shocked at it. Even Mikel Arteta was like, what's going on here? Then I think when Arsenal scored, I think that's when Everton realised let's just go back to the Trump wall and let's just park the bus again, because fair dues to them, they had a try, but you don't play football against Arsenal. That's something you just don't do, man. You just don't do things like that. But Arsenal was just too good, to be honest with you, bro. Trossard and the way Martinelli and Trossard were moving the ball, and Saka and Zinchenko and Martin Odegaard was a bit quiet in the first half, I thought. I think he woke up like in the second half. And when Thomas Partey come on, he just made that difference. Mm-hmm. Thomas Partey is just something. He is something else, man. This guy, he is. I'm lost for words for him. The man's too tremendous. He's absolutely amazing. Mm. The difference, he's just, I don't know what, bro. It's just when he's on that pitch, I don't think any Arsenal fan on here and on the planet knows. When you see Partey come on, you're like, well, we're cool, all right. 3 points in the bag, baby. That's
pretty much.
I'm telling you, but Arsenal just performed well. So yeah. Next game, bring on Bournemouth. But yesterday, I think Arsenal was tremendous, and I think the fans now should be a bit confident and get behind the team, and let's lift our first title after God knows how many years.
Right, and one thing too, Jez, I want to throw in, big up to Arteta to see that Jorginho, actually, I guess apparently he was feeling sick anyway, but Jorginho was turning out to be the Jorginho that we didn't want. And Arteta knew that was the Jorginho that we didn't want and was smart enough to pull him off at halftime. That's the thing. Yeah. And I think Jorginho could have cost us a goal in that game.
Right, he was ill, apparently, wasn't he?
Right,
yeah, he said he was ill.
Pete says, Jez, will you be coming to the parade? What parade? You need to come to at least one game this season also.
It's already been.
I've been. So, not you're not sure about there, mate. You're missing out. Missing out on what? Mate, I've been to thousands of bloody games. I've been to quite a few
Peter.
parades. You know what I mean? I used to watch the parades when I lived in Avenel Road. So, if there's a parade, then I'll be there because I'll be in Islington with a lot of buddies I used to go to games with. I was up there last week, and it is what it is. But I'm not planning any parades until actually something happens. Matt, Everton came out hard and strong. I was not expecting that yesterday. I was expecting what they were going to do at Goodison Park. And I think that put us on a little bit of a back foot. But was that a tactical mistake from them, do you think?
Absolutely. I think that what they did was they went away from what worked for them the first go round, which is make life difficult for Arsenal. I mean, for the last couple of weeks, that's been the blueprint. Let's just make the game difficult for Arsenal and try to get out of Dodge or whatever we can get. They decided they wanted to play full-on football. And as the Prince said, you can go look at the score lines when we play Everton. It's usually 7-0, 5-1, 4. I mean, we tend to blow them out the water anytime they even attempt to play remotely play football against us. So they walked right into a Lions den yesterday. And Oregon just brought up a great point. It was something I was going to bring up, is that I want to give, and I said it in my fan cam last night, I want to give Arteta a lot of props because, he could have stuck with Nketiah, but we all saw that was not working. And Prince, that's not a slight on Nketiah. It's just that we saw that it was time to freshen up. And guess what, y'all? He's going to have to do it again before the season is out. So somebody else is going to have to go out of the team, and someone else is going to have to come in and perform. Whether or not that's Trossard, Jesus, or vice or Saka even, somebody's going to have to go out. It's going to be. This is all down to the management of the players now. If he can manage the players going forward and navigate this ship, then we'll be in good shape. Last night was a good example of him doing that because he could have easily, Arteta of old would have tried to force feed Jorginho, but I think he realized after having his behind bit 1 or 2 times in the last 4 games, he realized I can't just keep sticking with what's not working. I've got to go with something else different. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, last night is a classic example of why we're always harping on about having extra players that can come off the bench and make a impact. Because Partey came on, and what did you see? Everything just smoothed out, Eddie Nketiah plays better when he comes off the bench when there's not a lot of pressure. It's just a known fact. We've seen this. Jesus is coming back. I hope he doesn't rush him into the team. Use him as a weapon off the bench. Trossard, for me, it's been the signing of the season. I mean, he came in yesterday, did a bang up job. The last several games, he's done a bang up job. He's doing exactly what we need him to do. And it's going to require a team effort for players to come in and do their job effectively to get us over the line. But as far as Everton, I hate to see it, man. Over here in the States, a lot of American fans like Everton. But I'm here to tell you, man, it's not looking good for them at all, man. That team is in bad shape over there, boy. I mean, bad shape.
Yeah, totally agree. And the sad fact is that Everton Football Club, I mean, they haven't been relegated since 1950-51 season, 10 years before I was born. And, I'd hate to see Everton go down. They're a great football club. They really are. And I remember them back in the 70s, 80s when they were actually a proper team. And my cousin, bless him, he actually supports Everton, bless him. And at the moment, he's actually not very happy at all. But it is what it is. And welcome, Mr. B, Brentford. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, cool, mate, cool. All right, fellas. All right. Everyone.
All good, man. Did you see the game last night, Mr. B?
Well, because I was watching the FA Cup, I couldn't get that on the telly or nothing, so just mainly watching the FA Cup. Spuds going out the FA Cup and all that, which was good, you know.
Yeah, well, we always
See them being booted out, you know.
yeah, we always love that one. I just want to mention a certain player for Everton, Onana.
Yeah.
Why does he fall over every blade of grass? He's got like, I mean, I'll
He's
come.
Belgian.
Well,
Right.
Oracle Goon, I'll come to you. Oracle
Okay.
Goon, I'll come to you. What is it about this fella? He feigns injury and looks like he's been sniper shot every leading time. What is that about?
I don't know. He's a weak Belgian. I don't know. No disrespect to the Belgian people or Belgian football academy, but he's just a tall, lanky guy. There's no real skill there. I don't know. He's not being coached well. I mean, I'm kind of glad we didn't get him in some cases because I don't really see like supreme technical ability. He just runs around.
He wanted to do
right back at one point. You know, he's played right back against Martinelli at one point yesterday. I don't know. I don't really rate him. I mean, Partey's the best CDM in the league by far. He's just a tall, lanky Belgium that just kind of looks like Bambi on ice.
Yeah.
I don't really rate him, to be honest.
Joel says, "Big up, lads. Jez, have you been to Ellen Road?" I remember going there as a 16-year-old in 2004 when we beat them 4-2 and we got chased down the road with batons. Let's hope they fuck off League One. Yeah, I've been there probably about 12, 14 times back in time. Yeah, it's not a pleasant place to know, man. It certainly is not. Prince Fowl. Onana. What is wrong with it? I actually call him Banana.
Yeah, banana man. Yeah.
I think he has bananas. I just think this guy just tries to sneak a foul all the time. Really winds me up. He's a decent player. Why does he have to do it, man? Why?
I don't know. I find sometimes I find a lot of players, they find that if they do that, they get more attention off the referee. But I think they don't. I think the referee just lets the game flow. Because yesterday he was going down for stupid, like even if a little nail touched him, he'll go down. And I think that's what they do it for. I think they do it. He does it to get attention of the referees. But then if you start doing that, I think your performance goes down. I think because you're reliant to trying to win the fouls all the time. And if you don't get them, you're going to moan and your head's going to go and you're going to start stressing about it. So I think they just do it to find a way when they're not, just to find a way to get I don't know why they do it, bro. There's no answer to it. I can't answer that. I just think they do it just to try and get a foul and always want sympathy off the referee. That's the only answer I can give you, really.
Yeah, I think you're right on it, mate. Mr. B, I'm going to ask you the same question about Onana. Why does he feign injury and tackles all the time?
I don't know. There's just some players that are just like that, aren't they? And you wonder why. I mean, if they're really that good, why do they have to do all that? I mean, it's like Richarlison. He's another one, isn't he? He's the same, you know. He's like a right shit house, you know, what he does. So, I mean, why do they have to do that? You know, it's a game of football. It's not on stage. You're not doing a drama, are you? You're not starring in a drama. Bloody actors, you know. So, why do it?
Yeah, fair point, man. Darren, you've been around football for a very long time, and you know, it sickens me when you see people doing this. It just winds me up. Why do you think it is, mate? I mean, I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, has he not been here very long? How long has he been in the Premier League? I've not really followed this player much.
Season.
Yeah, this season.
One season, is it?
Yeah.
Season.
Maybe he's got to learn that he will get targeted by the referees. They won't put up with it. He'll get a reputation, and all of a sudden he'll be getting yellow, red, and he'll be off. And then he'll learn his lesson. Maybe it's a bit early for him yet. He's adapting to our Premier League because, believe you me, we all know what these referees are like. You know, they all talk to each other. They all go to meetings. They all, no doubt, target people in their own little way. And if you try and go against their old boys club, you are going to come unstuck eventually.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. Connor, you know, I just don't see the reason. I mean, that game last night, every time somebody came near him in a tackle, he was down, and it just really winds me up, man. I mean, I just don't see the need for it. What's your view?
I think I find it quite funny how he'll do that in the first 20 minutes about 4 times. And when it was 70 minutes and he was 3-0 down, he was pacing up and down the field trying to get back up. So, do you know what? It's just, and do you know what? It's not just even Onana. It's just a thing now, I think, in modern day football. Obviously, I'm not old enough to know, obviously, about anything around the 90s or the 80s or even before that. But I think it's become a point where it's quite normal in football for players to just dive out, down over nothing, fake an injury. But do you know what? I know we do criticise referees a lot in the Premier League, and don't worry, I agree with most of the things that people say. They can be pretty bad at some points, but I think there was a point last night. I think there's some points in games where referees have just had enough of it and they just carry on the game when they see that players have gone down 4 or 5 times in a game, the same player. But literally, I think you could, like I said, you could have chucked a grain of rice at Onana last night and he'd have fell down. You know, I think it's a way that maybe Dyche could have said to slow down the game, because obviously Jordan Pickford was taking forever with his goal kicks at the beginning. Maybe it could have been a tactic. I don't know, but it was becoming very infuriating, and he sort of learnt his lesson in the end. Don't waste time. I mean, either way, they were probably going to get destroyed last night anyway. But it also kills the momentum of the game. When you want to watch a football game, you want to see back and forth, really going for it. And it was killing the game a lot. And I think that's why we couldn't really get into a rhythm in the first half an hour, 40 minutes. But eventually we did. And obviously, you know, the score at the end. But it's just something that I think we're just used to now at this point. Players are just going to go on the floor for a little tap on the face, or not even probably an elbow onto the chest, but for some reason you're holding your face. It's like, right. But yeah, I think it's just something that, unfortunately, I think maybe could be a tactic to slow down games and give the other team less momentum, really. And that's what I think they were trying to do.
Yeah. Matt, you know, I hate all this fakeness from some of these players. It really seriously winds me up. I think it spoils the game, and you know, I think seriously, referees and that should take a more harder stance on this. Seriously, really, you know, if I was still refereeing and I saw this going on, I'll tell you what, people wouldn't last long on the pitch with me. But maybe I'm just too hard about it. What's your view, my friend?
Oh no, you in the same ballpark I'm in. I mean, I think that you know, they use VAR for everything else. They need to start using VAR for that. You know, right. You know, these players who are flopping and you know, that is one of the most irritating things to me in the game is players feigning injuries, flopping, trying to get cards. You know, all of that. You know, I'm actually against the players running up to the referee looking for a call. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Trying to influence the ref into a call. You know, I hate to see players do it. It reeks of desperation, and you know, a player like if you're playing in Premier League, you shouldn't be falling on the floor looking for the weenie calls. You know, it really turns me off.
Yeah, I mean, just an interesting comment here from Stephen. Pete Hayward kicked Jez off his own show. Unfortunately, mate, that can't happen because I have the overall. I can make mods. I can delete people. I do have a senior mod in who controls all the mods. So that young lady controls all the mods. But yeah, the thing is, Pete, I would mod you if I could trust you. I think I can trust you. Sadly, because you flip flop with the way you've abused me. I don't care. I'm 61, but the way you've abused Gracie May, and then targeting other people, mate, that ain't ever going to happen. I like tonight. You've shown respect, and you're not being an idiot. But the fact that you've abused a very young lady who's done nothing to you, you threatened her. No, that's not right. Sorry, mate. I don't go with that. So that ain't ever going to happen. But before we wrap this up, I haven't got through hardly anything I was going to talk about. To be honest, we've got Bournemouth tomorrow. No, Saturday. We've got Bournemouth.
Cheers, I'm all right, Jez. I'll switch you soon. I gotta shoot off. I'll catch up with you soon.
Oh, mate. All right. Okay. Fair play, bud.
Thanks for having me on, everyone.
Cheers.
Respect.
No
Thank you.
Cheers, Rob.
Thanks for coming on, man. Thank you.
Anytime, boss.
And by the way, I'm posting. Oh, he's gone now. Never mind. I'll start with you then, Darren. We've got Bournemouth home. They look, mate. They are there for the taking. We know what they're going to do. They're going to come to the Emirates and they're going to park that bus. And we're going to have to work once again to get round them, score the goals. I put a prediction of 4-0. I mean, they have got absolutely no strike force. I can't see us threatening them and us threatening us. How do you see it, mate?
Well, I don't think they will park the bus. I think they'll have a go. They got that big lump up front. I forget what his name is now. Kiefer Moore, is it? Kiefer Moore. Yeah. Now he's a big lump. He could cause us some problems. But look, we've just smashed Everton 4-0, and Everton have got pedigree. Bournemouth got no pedigree. They've just changed their manager. They're at rock bottom. I'm expecting them to go down. I can't see where Bournemouth are going to cause us any problems. I'm not even slightest bit bothered about Bournemouth. As long as we give them some respect and not just go out partying on Friday night, we should be wiping the floor of them. 5-0 for me. And that's as simple as it gets, really. I just can't see how they're going to cause us any problems other than Kiefer Moore up front. If they can hoof some bullseye in the box, perhaps. But they're not going to have the ball, are they? We're just going to be pinging it about. And as long as we go out there, see, I think with a lot of these games now, the only team that can beat us is ourselves with our own attitude. If we don't show the right attitude, if we think it's a walk in the park, maybe they can walk off with a draw.
100%.
But really, as I say, 5-0 Arsenal all day long.
Yeah, fair play. Connor, Bournemouth at home this week. I said I'm going 4-0. Darren's just come out with a different opinion, which I love, in the fact that he thinks they'll come out and give us a go. And they possibly will do what Everton tries to do, catch us on the back foot. How do you see it, friend?
I think I can 100% agree with both points there. I can definitely see a massive scoreline for us. I mean, if you look into the past and recent years, whenever Bournemouth have come to the Emirates, we've absolutely smashed them 3-0, 5-1. I've seen before 2-1. You know, so there's been big results. I definitely do think they might have the same tact. Do you know what I say? That they probably will. We've gone up against teams that are sort of lower in the table, and they have literally sat back, had their wingers back, counter-attack straight away, and try to get something on us. I think that, like you said, is going to be exactly the same thing that's going to happen. But I'm going to go again with another big scoreline. I'm going to say 3-0. I think it's going to be, well, fingers crossed, touch wood, it's going to be a walk in the park. It's Bournemouth. Like, come on, let's not get it. No disrespect to Bournemouth, but we've seen how they've played this season, and with this new manager, I don't think they're going to get any further. So I could maybe see. I should say that. I'm going to go for 3-1 because sometimes with Bournemouth you can see the goal. So I'm going to go for a 3-1. I think it will be a walk in the park, pretty much, of us. But yeah, I'll go for a 3-1.
Yeah, okay, fair play. Matt, how are you seeing it?
Are we playing them home or away?
Oh.
Oh yeah, we'll win. We'll win 3-0. Then I was hoping it wasn't a way, with them in relegation fodder. But yeah, we're at home. Yeah, we'll smoke them. That won't even be a problem. That team is in bad shape too. That when there's a couple of teams that's fighting it out, man. They are in bad shape, but that team there is in dire straits. Showing my age a little bit, they are on Skid Row. Skid Row. They are definitely on Skid Row because I can't even think of anything that they would pose a threat to. But I will say this: hopefully the boys, as Warren said, they won't come out complacent, because that's my biggest gripe. We'll put up a performance like we did last night, and then we'll show up Saturday and we'll have them looking like world beaters. And we don't need that kind of situation now. Remember, I told you we need at least 6 to 7 good wins, and we need to get every point we can, so that when we play City, man, the City game won't even matter. That's preferably how I would want it, the way that game wouldn't even matter if we drew. That we will be perfectly fine and move on. So you take these kind of games and you get them and you move on, and let's survive this putrid international break, this meaningless international break. And we just had a World Cup and they talking about an international break. I can't make stuff up. So.
Totally agree with that. Mr. B, who you guys playing this weekend?
Good. I've forgotten again. We got Fulham Monday. Next Monday.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah. Not easy at all. They're going well.
Yeah, they are.
Anyway, back to this. Oh, sorry, Jez. Can I just answer a question that somebody put in the chat about Tony? They're asking if he's going to get banned. Well, I think he will. But it's not until the end of the season, and I think they're saying 6 months, so that's not too bad, I guess, when you think about it. But anyway, getting back to this prediction, I think like you, Jay's probably 4-0. I think Arsenal are purring at the moment again. They sort of hit a wall for a while, for 2 or 3 games, but they're back at it again now. And I think you're going back in the right direction and looking like you'll probably win the Prem. As long as you don't cock up again anywhere along the line. So I'm sure it's yours for the taking, mate.
Yeah, the thing is, I've learned from history. I don't get overexcited. 2002, 10 points clear, and we lose the title to Man United because Arsenal started showboating. I was at the game at Bolton Wanderers, 2-0 up, and we drew 2-2. And you know what I mean? I'm not going to get gassed up just yet about it. I've seen it, been there, seen it, and done it before. So no, I'm
still yours to lose, isn't it? It's yours to lose.
Well, it is. It's Arsenal's to lose, but we've done it before.
Jez, can I say this right quick, Jez? You right here with Afsar saying here, the 5 point. You see this 5 point lead, and it kind of upsets you, man, because if you won a couple of those other games, we'd be sitting real good right about now. But that goes to show you the importance of winning each game that's placed in first and getting something from it.
Exactly. Oregon Gooner called you your old age there.
Throwback.
Both Livius Del Dino is going to come out when we win the league with the sunglasses and the bottle of Jameson. You can believe that.
I've known you now for about 3.5 years. So
3.5 years.
And you name changing. I'm getting old, man. Sometimes the old brain.
I'm getting older too, Jez. I'm closer to 50 than I was 3 years ago when we met.
Yeah. Mate, how do you see it going, my friend?
It's got to be a 4-0 win. If we don't build off of what we just did Wednesday, then we've really got questions to ask, right? There's no reason why we shouldn't just blow them off the park. Not in a sexual sense, of course. But 4-5-0. I mean, anything less would be pretty upsetting, right? If we win 2-1, we're not going to have a very confident review show, right? If we win 3-0, 4-0, we have a conversation like we are today. And the fact of the matter is, Darren hit it right on the nail. It comes down to personal performances and not making mistakes. If we don't make mistakes like the Tomiyasu fuck up against Man City, then we will beat them comfortably. But again, we got to be strong defensively. We can't give away penalties, and we can't give set pieces near the box, because we all know set pieces near a box are our Achilles heel.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally agree with that.
We should blow them. I'm going to say it again. We should beat them off the pitch with no problem. I mean, it should be a walk in the park, to be honest.
But Bournemouth are there for taking. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
And we've got this is now where Arsenal have got to put the hammer down.
Yep.
Right? We've got to punish these teams to say, okay, we are in for this, and we're taking it seriously, and we're actually going to crucify you.
As I was saying, the 5 points, Jez, really is not much of a lead. 8 points is 3 full games. 5 points, a draw here, a draw here, and they win City, and then they'll have 2 points, and that's nothing of a lead.
Not only that,
our lead. We need to build on the 5 points, not just think, 5 points is a good lead. We need to build on that and make it a 3-game stretch. If we go 8 points up, then I am fully confident that we can really pull this out.
Not only that, but we also need to keep in mind too. We need to score as much as possible in case goals scored start playing a factor. You don't want to come down to the last day and we got to win 5-1. We don't want to have to do all that. So
that's why games like this are important. These games like Everton yesterday, Bournemouth on Saturday, big scoreline games all matters. But we've also got to think there's 2 big games this weekend in Man City, Newcastle. I know a lot of people are writing off Newcastle, saying, they're not going to do it. Come on, you can't write them off. They're in the top 4. They've been around top 4 for a reason this season. And you can't forget it's Manchester United versus Liverpool, the other way around, Liverpool versus Manchester United on Sunday, which could be massive for us if Liverpool decide to turn up and actually play well. That could, I know United are they 11 points away from us at the moment?
11.
I know it sounds like a lot, but in football, you never know. So if hopefully, I can't believe I'd ever say this, but hopefully Liverpool pull something off on the weekend. And of course, if Newcastle win at City somehow, Brentford have done it, so why can't Newcastle do it? So we've got to also hope that we can get a massive win against Bournemouth, and also that Newcastle can pull something away in the morning, because if they do, that is huge. So just wanted to point that out.
Holland's going to have his hands full with Botman in the back. No, Botman is a very, very, very good defender for Newcastle.
Is Carrier still in goals? Will they play Dubravka, do you reckon, for Newcastle? Do you reckon they'll play Dubravka? Will they play Dubravka or Carrier? Because obviously Pope's still on suspension, isn't he? I just thought about that, actually.
Would be good.
They play Carrier.
Yeah.
Just to ask this question, RS puts in. It's a good question. Do you guys think we'll bottle the league? Darren, go on, mate. Go for it.
Yeah, possibly, because when the pressure starts with 8 games left and you've got to play them games, it must be a mind challenge for players thinking, I'm going out now, we're probably going to win this game, but if I just have a bad game, and then you've got to think of not only the tough games as well, if other teams are fighting for their lives and they've got more bottle than you and they beat you, then you're going to bottle the league. It's very easy to bottle the league. We've seen loads of teams over the years bottle the league. Newcastle did it against Man United. Kevin Keegan, he got about a 12-point lead, and that just evaporated. As you say, Jez, 2002, 2003 season, we bottled it. I think we had a good double figures in points lead, and then we drew with Bolton, I think it was, and then lost to Leeds away at the end. We were hitting the bar, and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank come in with a diving header, and we lost 1-0. And then that was the end of it. Man United caught us up, and that was the end of it. Yeah. And then in the 1998 season, I think we were I think we were about 12 points behind at one stage at Christmas with Man United. Then we caught up, got in front of them, and then we tried to chuck it away at home to Derby and Wimbledon. Somebody mentioned that in the chat earlier. I was at both of them games. Derby at home, Dean Saunders done us on the near post with a header.
That's right.
In the clock end for that one. And then Wimbledon was just like an amazing
all
night
about
of
that.
football.
Yeah.
Nigel Winterburn smashed one in from 25 yards.
Yeah.
I think Alan Cork got a header again. And then some other bloke, I can't remember his name, from Wimbledon, scrambled a goal in as well. And that was a 2-2 draw. And it was just like the weather was hot. I remember sort of going to work, just like 1 week all up and like gassed up and yeah, great, we're going to win the league. And all of a sudden it just turned into depression. It was just like, oh no, thrown it away. So it's so easy to bottle the league. It is, you know, and this team have got form for it. Don't forget, last season they could have come in the top 4. And they were well ahead in points, and then we lost 3 games on the trot.
It's the exact same when Unai Emery was manager and we got too cocky. And I think we played Palace, didn't we? And we put out the worst team possible. And we and now we're talking about that. Obviously, I was born in 2003, so I wouldn't have known before that. But it's I don't want it to be the case, but it sounds like it's sort of in the Arsenal blood that it just sort of recently, you know.
I don't think we will, though. I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
If I don't think we'll bottle it and just lose 3 on the trot. I don't think that's going to happen. We might miss out narrowly to Man City by a point or 2. I think we're going to compete for the title, but I don't see us having a total collapse where we lose, draw, lose, win, draw, lose, relegation form. I don't see that. I think they will be able to sustain it because I actually think now Arteta's, because he's rotating, that's the positive thing. Arteta is now rotating. And I'm hoping what he's doing is thinking, this is a practice run for next season when we're in the Champions League, right? This is the practice run for when we're playing in Europe, league game, Europe, league game, Europe, league game. They got to start, if they really want to hit these heights like they're saying they are, they've got to start delivering and coping with pressure games. So they've got to go be at home to Bournemouth and not worry about playing Sporting Lisbon in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got Sporting Lisbon in the week, haven't we?
Yeah. We'll be playing.
Yeah, so they start coping with playing.
Sorry, I was just wondering what you all thought of that draw about getting Sporting Lisbon. I was just wondering, sorry, what you...
You're going to get a good team, ain't you?
Yeah.
I mean, Union Berlin, I was looking at them thinking, we'll have them, please, because they're a bit easier. But they're all
better than, they're better than Bournemouth and Everton, Mr. B. So it's going to be a challenge. They're no mugs. I mean,
it'd be nice for a year to not bottle the Premier League and not bottle Europe in the same time. But that's normally what we do. You know, I couldn't think of anything worse than we go to Budapest in May and it's Arsenal v Man United. I just don't want that. Just don't want that.
4-0 again.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be an opportunity.
We're in it next season.
I'll have them in the final.
Hey, Jez, what do you think if we beat Bournemouth and City actually lose to Newcastle and we go 8 points up?
Well, that's what I want to say.
Is your confidence going to grow then that we'll be actually 3 games up?
I'd be absolutely confident that we're going to beat Bournemouth. I've got no doubt. I've gone 4-0. I put a group chat poll thing out on YouTube earlier, and everybody I've seen, I haven't updated it lately, but it's all positivity.
Right.
And I
bet your house you're going to win. You're going to beat Bournemouth. You bet your house on it.
I can't see it any other way, personally. They haven't got a strike.
Yeah, they had scored with 19 goals this whole season. 19 goals.
Right. So let's say we beat them, which we will, and let's say Newcastle nicks one against City, and we do go 8 points up. You know, what do we do now? You know, let's say come Sunday morning or Monday morning, what chat are we having if we're 8 points up?
We're keeping the same discussion going, man. We got to keep the train rolling, OG. Right? We got to keep the train rolling. Every game is each game now is a game. It's not 2, 3, 4, 5 games. It's a game. 3 points here, 3 points here, 3
Yeah.
points here and 3 points here. That should be the mindset that Arteta's telling his players.
100%.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. Thanks for coming on, Oregon Gooner.
Thanks,
Give yourself a shout out, man. Where can we find you on your socials?
You can find me on Oregon Goon right here on YouTube, and you can find me on Oregon Goon HD on Twitter and infamous_Dow on Instagram.
Top man. This guy is an absolute legend in my book. We've known each other, well, 3.5 years now. From back in the day with Lee Gunner and all that. And top man, love your content, mate.
And Jets, also, London 2024 is probably going to happen.
Yeah, okay, mate. All day.
We'll be in touch.
All day, all day, man. All day. Darren, absolute legend of the club. Been there, seen it, done it. I've done some great streams. Just you and me, haven't we? Back in time,
Yeah.
Darren. And where can we find you, my friend?
It's Darren Sullivan 49 on Insta.
Top fella. Go and follow Darren. This guy really knows his Arsenal. That's what I'm going to say about that. Been there. I can put it. He's been there. He's been there the same times I've been there and seen all the crap. Connor, absolute top fella, this boy. Done all my graphics, all my intro. Anybody needs any graphic work done for their channel, go and find CMO. Top guy. And he's looking to get into the industry of doing all of this. And Connor, give yourself a massive shout out, man.
Yeah, so I'm only on Instagram, really. I was on YouTube. I've sort of taken a break from that recently. But I'm on Instagram. You can follow my work account, which is how I do all my editing and stuff. That's cmo.editing on Instagram. Or my personal Connor, so CONORMXO on Instagram as well. Thanks, Jez.
Cheers, mate. And thank you for coming on, my friend. Hope you'll come on again.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
First time you've been on the show. You've put some great comments in, and love having you on, my friend. And I'll have you on a guest whenever you want to come on again, my friend.
Brilliant, thank you,
Matt. Absolute true one. Love your fan cams. You do with Lee. You've been on a few times, and mate, where can we find you?
You can find me at the Southern Gunner here on YouTube. Get ready to get a show lined up for next Friday. So I will be on. I finally have some time off. It's been a little hectic the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I was actually glad I was able to make it on today. You can also find me over on Lee's channel with Lee, as Jez just stated. We both do fan cams over there. And also on Monday nights, I'm lined up with Gary over at DWTT here on YouTube as well, where we talk all things Arsenal. So always glad to be amongst the brethren.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for coming on, my man. And Mr. B for life, absolutely dedicated Brentford fan.
Yeah,
thank you, man.
Yes, but there you go.
Yeah, and
love the bees.
Nice to have you on again. The first time you came on, you were like very nervous. You now much
still a little bit at times, but I'm getting better there. I'm getting there. So, and obviously last time I went off, the camera thing went off, but thankfully this time I'm still on here.
Hi, man. I did say to you from day one, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and the more relaxed you get. And thanks.
You're right, man. You're right. I could be a legend like you one day.
Me?
Yeah, man.
No,
legend.
No, I'm not, mate. I'm not a legend. I just do it for fun, and love having you guys around. It makes it easy for me, and we just chat, and it's good fun. And guys, thanks for coming on. I'll do the outro.
Thanks, Jez.
Thank you.
Yes. Up the arse.
And thanks for coming on. And come on, you guys.
Now I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some far places. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live